Hi guys, and welcome to part 2 of your Recovery Kickstart course, and welcome to my backyard as well. My name is Adrian, and as you've probably already heard and read my story, I had chronic fatigue and I beat it over 10 years ago, and I've been symptom free since then and counting. I started this website as well, beatchronicfatigue.com, to show you that you don't have to live with chronic fatigue either. It is beatable, and I want to help you to do that with this site and with this course. And you absolutely can beat chronic fatigue starting right now. So with this video, I want to share 4 mindset and attitude points that you need to get right before you can take the next step. As you learnt in the last video, chronic fatigue can be confusing. There are many names for it, there's many conflicting views. The scientific and medical community doesn't really know what's going on, and it's a bit of a maze of things going on. But look, I found with experimenting and investigating and reading on my own that there seems to be 6 key issues underlying chronic fatigue that seem to be causing all the problems. And as I mentioned in the previous lesson of this course, it's those 6 key issues that need to be fixed. Now, they can be hard to detect because there's no modern test for them, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist. I'm a physiotherapist by profession, and in my world, sometimes it reminds me of people who've had a car accident, have a whiplash type injury where they hurt their neck, and they get an MRI scan, and the scan comes back normal. There's nothing wrong with the neck, yet they still have neck pain and headaches and all sorts of other problems. So there's clearly something going on. Now, what the MRI doesn't show is that there's micro trauma and micro stresses to the soft tissues of the neck, and fractures to the bones inside the neck, and this damage is just too small for the MRI machine to find. So the test comes back normal, but there's lots of problems still going on underneath. And chronic fatigue is a bit like this as well. There's no standard tests, and all the tests that you get done just come back normal. But underneath the surface, there's something going on. And just because the test is normal and there's no recommended treatment, doesn't mean there's nothing wrong. And it's not beatable, because it definitely is. So as in the previous video, your body's natural state is one of health, and your body's always trying to achieve that. It does need the right environment and the right ingredients to get there. And there are principles and foundations for good health and for your body to get to that healthy point. But before you can follow principles and foundations, there's one key principle that you need to get right, and that's your mindset and your attitude towards recovery. So there's 4 takeaway points from this video today that I want to share. The first one is to cut the noise. There's lots of stuff going on, and lots of it can be unhelpful for you. It's confusing, well-meaning advice, people possibly telling you to get over it. There's lots of conflicting information out there in the community. You need to put all that stuff aside and focus on one thing. And the one thing is your recovery. And look, it can sap your energy just being focused and putting all that stuff aside. But as the saying goes, you've got to keep your eye on the prize, and the prize is your recovery. So cut out the noise and really focus on what you need to do to recover. Number 2 is to build emotional resilience. There's going to be waves, there's going to be good days and bad days. You need to acknowledge that these will occur, and you need to be aware and ready for them, so that when they do happen, it doesn't demoralize you. It's just a natural part of getting better. Sometimes it's 1 step forwards and 2 steps back. And you need to sail through these rough times so that in the end, you got good times there. So have an attitude of expecting the good stuff, but also anticipating the bad stuff and being prepared for that. The third thing is to have some psychological flexibility. And by this, I mean to have the flexibility to do something different. A change is required. If you've got fatigue, you've gotten to this point, something's happened and you've gotten here, and something different's going to have to happen for you to get out of here. To get out of your current fatigue state. So maybe you've been looking at recovery a certain way, or you've been doing the same things over and over, and maybe you've given up on recovery, or you don't believe a lot of the recovery options that are out there. But you know what? The kicker is that you need to stand back. You need to expand your thinking a little bit and have a look at other possibilities. And be flexible enough to review what you're doing and to consider something different, a change. Being flexible and being open to different ideas is a really powerful strategy to have, and it's a good skill. Number 4, can't count, is perseverance. This is the last part to having a great attitude for recovery. Maybe you've been on a long path of recovery and maybe you're a bit over it. And I certainly know what that feels like, because it can be a long journey of recovery. But you've got to keep going. You've got to stick with it. Having perseverance and stickability is a real winning recovery strategy. And I heard a saying once that says committing to the strategy is more important than the strategy itself. And of course, you do need to have a good strategy, but a good strategy without sticking to it is not going to get you anywhere. So building up some perseverance, and hopefully you'll stick with me and what my recovery process is in this recovery course for you. Now, if you can build up 5 to 10% improvement in these 4 areas, then you'll build a strong mental mindset. And sometimes just 5 or 10% is all it takes. You don't need to become a superhero, a guru, or a Buddha or something like that. You just need to make small improvements in these areas. And I know you can do it because I did it. And absolutely you can use that to beat fatigue. So once you have that mindset and attitude, you can couple that with the nuts and bolts of recovery, which is what the rest of this 9-step recovery kickstart course is all about. The best bit is that this video is part 2, so you've only got 7 parts left. So if you need to, go back and review this video, understand these 4 essential mindset parts that you need for a strong mindset and recovery attitude. Otherwise, look, have a great couple of days, and I look forward to sharing the next part of this, the lessons that I have in the rest of the Recovery Kickstart course. So here's to you, and here's to your health and recovery. Bye-bye.